just days after Sony announced they're no longer going to produce discs starting January 2028, my wife found a free CRTV on Facebook. It's right over there. So got a couple more months before I'll hook that up and have that all set up. But it seems like retro gaming's choosing me. I'm not choosing retro gaming. It feels like fate a little bit. But nah, this video is going to be a follow-up actually to my last video, which is a call of action to not buy the PlayStation 6 console at launch. And I just want to have do a little bit of clarification, because people make some good points in the comments saying that's like, and like the biggest criticism, the easiest criticism I feel is like, it's like, oh, like you say don't buy it at launch, but you're going to buy it anyway. That's still supporting PlayStation. And I want to push back on that. And I think that the message should be not to buy it at launch. And because I think it will be a way more effective message, and it will get way more people to participate in the boycott and really help make Sony sweat. And the chance for real change is in that 3-year window. Because if you don't buy the PlayStation 6 at launch and you wait 3 years, I mean, Sony doesn't know that you're going to wait 3 years. Sony's books and for the investors and their sales and all that, they're selling just as many consoles those first 3 years as if you didn't buy it at all. Their numbers would be so low that they either go out of business, they're sweating, they make changes, and so if nobody bought the PS6 in the first 3 years, there might not be a PS6 to buy at year 3. And I also want to think of it from like the point of I bought the Xbox Series X right over there at launch. I bought it with the mindset that there will be games that come in the generation. There was no big launch title, but I was like, you know what? I'll buy this now. It's very hard to get, and there will be good games that come out over the course of the generation. But that never happened. Now, if I went into buying that console thinking, you know what? I'm going to wait 2 or 3 years, and then I'll get the console. Well, I probably wouldn't have bought the console at all, because nothing spectacular happened in those first 2 or 3 years. And I think if we can convince people to just not buy it right at launch, right? Because to not buy it at all, that's a way harder pill to swallow, especially if you're like a big hardcore PlayStation fan and you just love their IP and you or just like the latest and greatest when it comes to gaming, and you want the PS6. And I want the PS6, right? A lot of the whole, it's not like I want to support Sony or anything like that. I just think like realistically, the odds, since I'm a gamer first, the odds of me eventually wanting a PS3 3 years in, I mean, there could be games like if they made Jak and Daxter 4, a new Ratchet and Clank, a new Astrobot, Horizon Zero Dawn 3, Spider-Man 3, like these are games that I would want to play. And yeah, I already know that all my third-party games, wherever I can, I'm going to be getting on Nintendo Switch 2. I trust my third-party library with that the most. But 3 years in, I mean, I don't know. If you think about like the PlayStation 8 or the PlayStation 9, it is hard to imagine those consoles would still have discs, that it would go all digital at some point. I don't want that to be the case. I love physical media, even though I've been a hybrid physical and digital gamer for the past 10 years. But I bet there are many people that are hybrid physical and digital gamers, whether they think of that or not. How many people have bought a very cheap digital game on sale? And especially like the PC people who are acting like the PC is the answer. Oh, just get on PC. It's like PC's been digital only forever. Competing storefronts, all of that, emulation, piracy, all of that. It's like, dude, like PC is going to go through enshittification for the next 10 years. Like, I don't buy that for a second. High hardware prices. You think like they want you to own nothing and you'll be happy. Like, you think PC is just like escaping from that? Like, PC is the ultimate form of freedom where people aren't making money off of like movies and games and all that. You think these publishers enjoy that? You're just like, they don't want you to own the physical copy and they don't want a secondhand market. You think they want that? Like, there's going to be pushes and efforts to get rid of that. The whole reason why there's no physical games is because 80% of people buy games digitally. Okay, well, if you want to talk about computers and access to the internet, well, it's probably 90% of people use access to the internet via smartphones. So why even like make big computers or anything like that? Just if you want powerful hardware, just do hardware as a service and just pay a subscription and connect to the cloud, and you can use a tablet. And who needs a big setup in their house or anything like that? There's gonna be real enshittification for PC over the next 10 or 20 years. When it comes to consoles, of course, a lot of us physical people, do enjoy having uh, something that doesn't have to connect online. That's what's great about retro consoles. And I don't know, I just don't think PC is the answer when it comes to that. And so, tangent aside, we expect an all digital future at some point. It just kind of makes sense the way technology evolves. And after 3 years of the PlayStation 6 being launched, if there's no big change, if we don't get physical media back, if prices don't go down, if there's no big change with PlayStation and the big casual market that isn't on here fighting for it, if they just determine it's okay. I mean, the big PC gamers, they all have already determined that all digital is okay, right? Probably one of the biggest problems when it comes to the no more physical games and physical media are the PC gamers who gave up big box PC. World of Warcraft 2005, they came with 6 discs, and you can't tell me GTA 6 couldn't have been printed on multiple discs, especially in a world where they are not spinning and they just install to the console. And so in that 3-year gap of the PlayStation 6 launch, if there's no big change, Sony hasn't failed, then all digital's here to stay. And then every gamer has to ask the question: Are you a gamer and want to play games, or are you a collector? And you can be both. And like I said, I could see that there could be enough first-party Sony games that I might want to play, and maybe I would pick up a console to play those games. Does that mean I'm gonna just entrust my entire third-party library and just let them own no, I would only just buy just a couple of first party Sony games, and like at the same time, like they might get taken away, and just that sucks. But I think about the Switch 1, the PS4, the PS5 generation. Some of my favorite games of all time have come out on these consoles, like Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man PS4, Pragmata, Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy. If these consoles were digital only and I decided to just not participate in these consoles because they were digital only consoles, there's no physical media, I would have missed out on some of these great experiences that I'm glad I had. And so I don't know, moving forward, it's like I feel like I still have like 30 to 40 years of gaming left in the tank, and if it's always gonna be digital only from here on out, there could be many games in these franchises that I might want to check out. Does that mean I'm going to full on support PlayStation? No, my third party library is going to be on Nintendo Switch 2. They're the ones who's doing full on physical. Nintendo's leading by example and putting their full games on the cart. They're giving these other third party publishers who probably also want the all digital future. They're also greedy just like all these other companies. And that's why they're putting their games on game key cards. But I do view game key cards as Nintendo's solution, as it's like, well, it's either this or all digital. And it's just it's buying some time. It's given so many rights having the game. It's missing one important property from physical games, and you do have to access the server. But once you download the game, there are no server check-ins. So even if those servers get shut down, like download as many keycard games as you can on your console, and you'll still be able to play those games, whereas digital games do need to have that server side checks. And yeah, I do think that the message should continue to be, don't buy the console for the first 3 years. I think it's way more accessible and approachable for more people to get behind it versus a black and white, you have to buy it or you have to not buy it. I think this is a good gray area to just sit and watch and see how the generation unfolds. It should be very easy to do that with the cross-generational period. But the effect on Sony and the way that they're going to feel about it in terms of just like console sales and all that, it's going to be the exact same. Zero console sales is zero console sales. They're not going to be producing them and shipping them and supporting it, hoping that like people are going to buy it in 3 years. I mean, these companies operate by quarters, and that's really going to sting. So that's where the boycott happens. And we know that there's a whole bunch of people out there who don't participate in online gaming discourse, and if this thing survives the first 3 years, just like, PC gamers, and that mindset is just how the next generation is, or just there's other people who do it, then it's like, yeah, digital's here to stay, and I don't know, support it how you want. If that's where you want your library, you can hop on that immediately and say, this is the future. This is where I put my library. I'm not going to do that. My library is still going to be on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is going to be the most physical and most ownership of your games that is possible in this era. And it's funny when like PC gamers are like, oh no, PCs, like you can have a bunch of ownership there too, but then like nobody actually buys games from Epic Games Store, right? So what options? And like, yeah, the people who buy off GOG, they're cool, they get it, though. You do have DRM free, that's good, but like Steam, it's like I don't know. I do think Steam's gonna, this for-profit company, like over time, like they're gonna be in shitification too, right? Everyone's defending Sony for so long. With Nintendo and the game key cards, Nintendo's evil, Nintendo's greedy. I'm gonna buy my game on PlayStation 5 where it's full on disc, and like, what did that support get? All digital future, right? Like PlayStation and shitified just like that, like, right? Everything changes overnight. Steam can change overnight. Nintendo can change overnight, right? Just right now, the current state is Nintendo is where I'm going to continue to invest my third party library. And you know what? If it all goes to hell, and then I'll just like, maybe I'll buy these consoles. Like, there's a lot of life left. And like, I don't know if a Zelda game is digital only or a Mario game is digital only. Maybe I want to play those, but am I going to heavily invest in modern gaming? No, because it doesn't feel like I'm investing for retirement. It feels like I'm buying like a movie ticket, right? You go to movies at the movie theater and you pay $20 and you don't come out owning anything. You just experience it. And that might just be what modern gaming is you just hop in and experience it. And maybe you get to revisit it in 20 or 30 years. Maybe not. I'll probably be investing a lot more money in retro. Got the CRT TV right there now. And I've been investing in retro and just getting the bases all set up for that. I think retro game prices are going to be going up quite a lot over the next few years. I hate saying that. I don't want to put the energy out there, but I do. But again, also I'm a gamer. Of course I know how to emulate. And so it's just, that's not where I'm going to continue to invest, but yeah, call it wishy-washy. But I think it's way more effective to try to just get people not to buy it at launch. Wait a few years. And then again, like Xbox Series X, if I went into that just thinking I'm going to wait 2 or 3 years, I probably wouldn't have bought it at all. And I think many people would be in the same boat. So, yeah, there's probably a lot of people who are saying they're not going to buy the PS6 and they're going to flip on that right away. They're going to fall into FOMO. But I think that people who are going to commit to just sit on the sideline and wait, that is going to be just as effective when it comes to the sales on Sony. And at the same time, there's a higher chance that they're going to convert into someone who's not going to buy the console at all. And so we'll see what happens, but I'm going to continue pushing back on this thing for quite a bit because, I don't know, I'm still way more excited for the Neo Geo AES Plus than I am for the PlayStation 6, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Later.